Hey, okay, in this video we are going to talk about yarns, needles, and starting to weave. I have here a few different kind of needles. There are two basic kinds you would use on this loom. There's what's I think considered a tapestry needle, which is just basically like a long needle. Can be wood, can be plastic. Here's a shorter version of that, also tapestry. This is more of a shuttle. This is actually used for fishing nets, I believe. The advantage of this is that you can wind the yarn on. So you can get more yarn and you don't have to refill as often. It's bigger and it doesn't go into tiny spaces. So if you have a small space you want to fill in, one of your smaller needles is probably better for that. There's two kinds of yarn that come with your kit. One is this really beautiful, soft, yummy wool that I've sourced that really comes in beautiful colors. And I like it because it weaves up really quickly. It goes fast because it's so thick and chunky. This is a really great yarn that I think is used for rug making, for tufting. This is also a wool. I love wool because it's just such a nice feeling. I feel like it's healthy. So this one is sturdier. It's smaller. It takes longer to fill up your loom, but it looks really nice. For weaving, you want something that has like some sturdiness to it. Like if you pinch it, you can feel it in there. It doesn't just like compress to nothing. If you have a yarn that compresses to nothing, you will be weaving forever because it will just like compress to nothing on your loom. So you want something with a little beef to it that's going to stand up to your weaving. All right, let's get the yarn on the needle. So for the thick kind, I'm going to use my tapestry needle. And what I generally do with any yarn that I'm working is I tie at least one knot. And that just really helps to prevent that accidentally the needle pulling out, which sort of always seems to happen. Okay, let's look at the loom real quick. We learned in the last one about the two sheds, 1 and 2. So those are the two spaces. So let's start with 1, even though it doesn't really matter. Doesn't matter, but we'll start with 1. So I like to pass through. If you look at the side of our loom, you'll see that the shed is widest up by the heddle bar, right? So I like to pass my needle through at the top where it is widest. And it's helpful to kind of always keep that in mind. And sometimes I actually have to sort of remind myself, okay, up at the top. So you pass through at the top. That's where it's widest. But then you got to push it down. And you can use your fingers. You can use a fork. You can use, I'm looking for the little comb that comes with the kits that's called a beater comb. You can use your beater comb to kind of push it down. But you want it to kind of be at the bottom, touching at the bottom. So once you've got it down, you're set. You're on 1, you're going to go to the next one. Whatever you're on, you're going to go to the next one. And that's called switching your shed. I'm going to come through at the top because then you're ready for your next row. So for the next row, what I like to do is kind of get the yarn snug up to the edge, but not real snug, just like touching. Then I'm going to pull it down here so that I have a little hill. Sometimes people do this in different ways. They make a diagonal. They make a couple hills like this. Whatever works for you. But I like to do a little hill. And then you push it down. And the reason for that is if you don't do that, even if you're feeling like you're keeping it loose enough over here, in the interior of the strings, it tends to draw in if you don't build that extra little surplus in. So just make that a habit. It'll really help you because otherwise your weaving will start to get skinnier and skinnier. It's like it gets a little waste. So I'm on 2, so I'm going to switch again to 1. I'm going in order, but I could also go back and forth. It doesn't really matter. All the 1s are the same. All the 2s are the same. You just want to do the opposite of what you did last time. Oh, so I have to go to 1. Okay. I'm going to go through at the top. Sometimes I kind of put my fingers in to grab the needle. I kind of make it touch over here, a little hill, push it down. Good. Let's do 1 more together. I'm going to switch to my next shed. Now, you can see how I'm pushing it down. It is possible to like push it really far down it's possible to leave it really loose. Like everybody I've noticed from doing classes kind of has their own way that they like to do it, like how packed they want it to be. And I think that's fine. I think it's actually great. One of my favorite things about tapestry is that you can kind of mess with it. Like it doesn't have to like be perfect. Everything has to like be measured the same all the way along. Like say you want to push this down, maybe then you're going to put another color in here. Like push it around, you know, yarn can be pushed around and that's okay. It kind of likes it. It kind of responds to that. Okay. So when I reach the end, I'm just going to untie or cut my yarn here and leave it. My yarn matches my shuttle. That's nice. So let me do this a couple times and then I'll show you what I'm doing. So it holds the thread. So basically, you're going to come up, go around that pin in the middle, then turn the thing around. Oh, come down and come under, turn it around, go around the pin, come down, go through the legs, up around the pin, down through the legs, up around the pin. Okay, you just get a wad of yarn on there. Cut it off. All right. So then you keep a little length. Get all the rest of my stuff out of the picture. I'm on one. Sometimes if I don't remember what I'm on, I take the needle and I push it down. And I say, oh yeah, look, I got to change my shed. That's an easy way to tell before you've already dragged your whole yarn through there. All right, so I'm on 2. Oh, I should come back. Generally, I try to start from the side I was previously on. That helps keep things a little more straight when you get into more complicated weavings. Okay. So you will see that using this is pretty much the same as using the other. You pass it through at the top. You push it down. I could really use a beater comb at this point because this yarn is a little harder to push. And you kind of just pull it out when you're ready for a little more length. Let's see, did I already do that? Nope, I already turned it. Push it through at the top. Pull it through kind of to the side, like right here, like this. Okay, I've got my beater comb, special guest star beater comb. The beater comb, let's see if we can even make it a little longer there. The one thing that I find sometimes with these flat ones is they have a tendency to like dip down and catch so that you're kind of like messing up, like you're going down below the bottom threads by accident or up here by accident. And so in that case, what I like to do is just turn them a little. And then they just go real nicely through. So 1, okay, go through again, right, and repeat. So you're probably good at this point. See how 1 is like a little more spread out. So here, this yarn is so thick, and even here you can see that warp. This is the warp. You can see that in there. And I like that. If you were to mush it down a lot more, like really pack it down, then the yarn, the weft, which is your threads going this way, would completely cover the warp. And that's something people want too. So just think about the different ways you can kind of play with that. Okay, you guys did great. You hung in the whole time.